Hey everyone, I'm Tassenix. Welcome to Plotting and Scheming, the Grand Arena focused podcast for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, centered around the top 100 of Kyber 1. I am joined by my regular co-hosts, Dagger, TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, another good week. I'm seeing a pattern emerge. We went 2-1 for the second week in a row. Two strong matches against Maw Chromium opponents, as big as they come. And then a cheese match up against one of Phantom's Menace folks, which I hadn't fought yet before. We'll have more to talk about that, but that was the one loss by all of 3 banners. Been a while since I had a shave that close. Dagger, how about you? How'd it go? This is the part where Dagger's muted. Doesn't realize he's muted.
No, I believe he said he wasn't ready. But
okay. Well, why don't we go to TJ and circle back around to Dagger at a reasonable
No, I just got back. No, this is the part where Tass said, "Everybody ready?" I said no,
yes.
So Tass hit the go button.
I defended you.
That is
I defended you right now.
I didn't even hear that.
I defended Dagger.
That led to today's show.
Nevertheless, I'm keeping this take. No. It's happening. Okay, so how was the week?
That's how we do it, baby. Let's go.
I went 2-1.
Yeah. Anything on the high level to note?
No, Arsenal's a jerk, like in a good way.
Fabulous. TJ, how about you?
The shit out of me.
That feels good, man, and that's why he's a friend of the show. That's why you play the top stuff. I'm just glad to hear Dagger and they're enjoying all of the names we know and love from a different perspective. 2-1 for me. I started the week doing what I said I wanted to do, and then second guessed myself, and in my opinion, that cost me my third round.
Damn. Shame. Sasha Aisha, how's it going up there? Are you able to hold on in the bottom of the top bracket against the mighty opponents that you find yourself facing?
I am, but please send news of the outside world. I miss you guys. I miss real matches. I guess on the plus side, my list of verified effective counters to Gear 11 Geonosians continues to grow. So I've got that. But yeah, nothing. I believe this week, it looks like in Lock, I'm going to get one opponent. I think it's the same opponent you had in your final round this past week, Tass. So I get
one. Yes, good.
Yes, exactly. Your auto translate did the same as mine, and yes. So I have that match coming up this week, which should be good. So I'm excited to learn about this Star Wars video game you guys play.
Fantastic. Can't wait to share the details with you. Last but not least, Fatal, how is the plan unfurling?
I dropped a big fat 0-3. Okay. It wasn't really planned, but at the same time, I didn't bother learning any counters that were like completely necessary to succeed. Like I just never spent any time on a stranger counter. So I would basically just show up to a round, lose the match on stranger, and then immediately start doing some of the sickest shit that I've done in a while. And this started happening repeatedly. And I will have more to say on that later, I guess.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was 3 test streams in a row.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Meta-analysis, as always. Updates first on the Stranger. When you're fighting non-healer, I haven't fought a healer one with it yet, but my just suspicion is that healer would not be the very best situation for JMK. But JMK is holding up against other versions of the team. I think I saw Vex do it here against Fatal's support Crom, which is more rare to see on Stranger than anything else. I've done it against the FDC, the Spider Mall FDC. Any new reports from you guys from the front on Stranger?
Support Crom was doing well before, but I knew that shit was dead, but I figured I'm going down with the ship, so I just kept posting it. So
if you were fighting somebody that was really devoted to Lord Vader, they would have been screwed. So I mean, you weren't wrong.
I haven't watched the fight. I had a very clean hold to a JMK one, so I'm a little bit shocked that it won. But it's entirely possible the first JMK just screwed up. Because the first JMK, they killed whoever they killed on the nuke, and nobody else died. So it seemed to me to be a solid thing, but I guess not. Support Kron is officially just dead. Millions must healer Kron. I'm so sorry. I'll apologize for this last week. I'll do my penance.
Yeah, you have literally 3 matches to apologize for, Cradle. You should be ashamed.
Look,
A
I'm going to
final
be honest. I
send-off.
think your 03 was penance enough.
Also fair.
Buddy, this next week I'm leaning into it.
After going 03,
That's what you come here for.
You're going to smash some people you shouldn't be fighting. They are just in for a really rough time.
That poor bracket.
I got Omega to work once, but I don't know what I was doing. I just mashed buttons.
Fair. All right.
But maybe one day I'll learn what it does. Had a queen fail. I adopted the TJ strat this week where it's I'm going to win or lose, and it's not going to be with Lord Vader. And
that was such a good plan.
And I watched Tass eat complete shit with JMK, and then just decided not to do it.
Are you sure? Which one? Which round? I think you watched me eat it. You watched me get a pretty rough clear yesterday with Lord Vader, but I think the last...
No. The first JMK fight you did, you ate shit.
I think that was week 1, though. Or are you talking about this week?
It was round 1.
Okay, I'll take your word on it.
We didn't have the JMK counter week 1. Or we did, but we didn't see it until data.
Yep. Yeah, they're against FTC.
Yeah. But anyways, all I'm saying is that I watched that fight. I didn't see your other fight, and I just decided that that was just not something I was going to rely on. But again, I fought Healer Kron, so
Yeah, my lesson for doing this, by the way, so I was not successful in round 1, but then in round 2, I was. And the secret sauce is, of course, beating down Visas first here. When it's the FTC, at least, you're beating down Visas, getting her out of the way, and then you smite Starkiller, who, by the way, at the moment that Visas was dead and Kat had her next turn with the smite available, Starkiller was at 93 stacks, so he was just on the cusp of popping off. And after that, it was pretty simple. We took out Xeris next, Stranger, all in the end. So the big difference was, in round 1, I did smite Stranger thinking, okay, I mean, yes, ship isn't great, but I'm pretty sure we can survive ship. Do I want the guy that has a few different ways to insta-kill people having more free reign? So I smited him first thinking I made the right call, but the post-unleashed Starkiller was putting out those AoEs every couple of turns, and he just thundered down the sides of my team.
Do you want to hear
what was the big difference?
Do you want to hear what the asshole named Arsenal did to mine?
I can do you one better. Shit, I can pull it up.
He used DTMG.
That is undignified. Now, what are we looking at here? Yeah,
and I've seen this witchcraft. Seconds. It wasn't fucking close.
Holy crap, man. You got Cleveland steamered. What takes this down? We must see. What is this? This is foul.
That's why I said that's why I said at the beginning of the show that Arsenal put it in me.
DTP. Okay.
He put it on me and in me, and it was non-consensual.
Dude, I mean, you took it. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I misidentified. That's not Enoch. That's
Yeah, I want to know what I meant to read. I meant to follow up with him on what the pinch points are for this, but I didn't end up getting around to remodding anything, so I didn't reach out to people.
Let's see here. I just want to make sure all the.
I'm also having audio issues on my end because when my computer restarted, shit's fucky. There was a new update, so. Anyways.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what makes this look ugly. You have out of 32 battles against the Xeris Visas, a 59% win rate. But wow, yeah, minute 15, under a minute. This thing looks right. Let's filter on the attacker cron because I
We'll
suspect
filter on relic levels on offense and defense. Put it
sure
at
we
eight
can
minimum.
do that. We can do that. But
Well,
I want to
it's
see
just to rule out R5s.
sure if you've got the right 369 though. I want to see what you're looking at. All right. So if it's Cal Xeris, it's a goose egg. But if it's Cal Vesus, 66% on a handful of attempts here. Yeah, so high armor
Did you
penetration.
say Cal Vesus? That would break Star Killer.
No, it's Barris Visas.
Barris Visas.
Sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Where does this one go? So this one had relatively low armor penetration, also relic delta disfavored, and then this one was relatively low armor penetration. So armor penetration, aside from that 369, seems to be reasonably important. Okay, yeah, that is an interesting one.
Some people are getting this to work, and by some people I mean Arsenal.
So I guess in week 3, before we move on from the topic of Stranger, what do we think is the best composition going into this week? I'm still thinking healer with Cal, though, for sure now. Because I'll be goddamn.
It's just not FTC, man.
Yeah.
Other pieces of the puzzle, because like I said, if you go look when you put FTC, Bad Batch significantly increases on what it's doing to that team. So it's definitely going to be a variation of healer.
Generically speaking, the healer cron looks better, but always take a look at your opponent and see what they fail against.
Fair. Solid advice. All right, guys.
Because I've seen a lot of people this last week fail against the focus datacron because people are willing to try more things versus the focus datacrons. I guess what I'm saying, like,
sure.
Like Queen. I keep trying Queen because I don't know. Lord Vader
for punishment.
So Lord Vader feels terrible, man.
Lord Vader does feel terrible. That's fair. I don't have a strong protest to that. All right. Next team on deck. EP DVDE. Balin. I found this one on GG. So this is week 1's data, providing me this counter that was good for all of week 2. It's Balin Shin. You drop Marok and you bring Han, Cara Dune, and Kira. And yeah. Between a 63...
Dagger gets the start.
No, I'm just saying you're welcome. You're welcome.
Dagger gets the start of this because he opened the door to where it became a good thing. So just a shout out to Dagger.
Oh, yeah, it was just a rabbit hole I pursued based off initial reports, and I dug through the data to find a comp that was the most consistent, which Tass mentioned. That was basically my go-to.
Between a 63 and a 64 for me this week.
That being said, I know some people have been doing JMK 4-man, dropping snips.
Yep, I've seen that.
So that's a nice 66 banner win.
Yep, that's my opponent did that to me. So is there any tech against that?
No, to put in front of Fleet?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fine.
Sorry. No, I mean, the tech of these... It takes an expensive team, and then they have to reserve it and still clear your front wall.
I respect that. Yeah, I mean, there's worse ways to draw a JML. But anyway, that was a reasonably strong counter for me. Did you guys have anything new pop up for you fighting DVDE?
My plan is I am pretty confident that Saul, Luthen, Krex, Kara will 66 comfortably. I did it for 65 with Kyle there. Kyle doesn't need to be there. Like, literally the only way that the team assists is Kyle assisting on the summon to, like, just... The team does fine without him. And, like, my Kara did not have an actual mod set, so she's got that on instead.
So Saul, Luthen, Kara, Krex?
Yep, for 66. Should feel pretty slick. If the 66 somehow ends up turning Rocky, 65 with Kyle there is very easy fight.
So are you running just support cron then?
I don't remember. Probably attacker with crit damage.
Just for the summon to juice out.
Yep.
Sure. Okay, I can see that. Makes sense. All right. Anything else on DVD, guys? Okay. Next up are the Wookiees. So this is an item from Fatal. What do you got for us on this one? Here, I'll even pull up your tab.
So we closed off the podcast last week with me saying I didn't think Wookiees versus Pirate King Honda was real, and that I doubt I would even try it this week. But even if I did, that I wouldn't win. Then promptly won. And have begun winning more often. And so there's a couple of moving parts for Wookiees versus Pirate King Honda, but this is also more so just about like getting a better feel for the team as a whole. So the Pirate King Honda thing, the one way it can go south right now. So Brutus, his basic applies Breach, and if he uses his Intimidate move when you have Breach, you get feared, and if the fear gets hit and your cooldown gets increased, and that's bad for when you try to build a Spirit Bomb.
Okay. Sure.
So holistically, at first, I would tell you, okay, support Kron makes it, maybe we build Zabor for Tenacity later, and so once support Kron goes away, then, we can build for Tenacity because Brutus has god-awful base potency as well, and we'll be fine. I can tell you the last 24 hours, that isn't even technically true, actually. We can just save Tarful Cleanse for when Breach shows up and just get rid of that shit, and that seemed to work out kind of okay. But yeah, so like the fear is kind of a major moving part. I would also imagine, moving into the next set, I don't think a whole lot of one-shotting strategies are going to work mysteriously for a variety of reasons, and also I don't think a lot of teams are going to be beating Vayne mysteriously for a variety of reasons. So, it's gonna be on ice for roughly 3 months. And after that, I'm pretty sure this is just a decently hard counter. And the pattern that is emerging is that Wookiees are extremely comfortable into teams that operate on raw damage and are assist heavy. And it is at this point in the podcast where I'm going to pop my special ability, my burst move, my combo breaker. I am going to need you all, whether on the game or on SUH.GG, go open up Vandor Chewbacca.
Oh, sure. Can do.
All right. Everyone, ideally at the same time, I need you to look at the description for his basic. And tell me when you see it.
Deal physical damage to target enemy. If it's Chewbacca's turn, he also gains advantage for 2 turns. This attack ignores defense. So hidden special secret combo with Chewbacca that you have envisioned?
No, I didn't envision shit. I am so fucking sad. I only realized this existed 20 minutes after lock ended. Otherwise, the last couple of days would have gone very differently. My BT1 would not be Relic 10, and this motherfucker would be Relic 10 with a different set of mods on. Yeah. So, yeah. No, I was messing around in Squad Arena an hour ago. And was like, man, my Vandor, every time he uses basic, is like people are just getting chunked for like 600 to 800k. What is happening with this? Yeah. So it turns out this team now has 3 major sluggers, and I am about to Relic 10 my 3rd fucking Wookiee. For that is a statement I am saying unironically, and think it is like gonna work out well for me.
Wait a minute. Is all of our Vandor in who?
I already did have Yoda and Chewie.
Right, but I one thing I just want to call out: if you're taking your basic, is also his unique, which is going to monstrously diminish a lot of what they're doing. His unique has been one of the best of the game and lived in the world of the Ray and transferred around. So if you're gonna tie this into it, that's even better, Fatal.
So
Yeah, but just like
what are you looking at for him? You're trying to maximize him with like what, offense and crit chance?
no, crit damage and defense, and I need to do a actual Wookiee damage calculator at some point. I imagine it will end up being very similar to Master Qui-Gon, but you know, it was a lot easier and cleaner with health. You know, defense to offense has some differences in calculations. We don't know if it's armor plus resistance combined, or in this case, or which it is. So all that stuff is still up in the air. But yeah, you know, my Vandor did 600,000 damage to a what's the guy who's not Vane that people like to run in Parking Hut for some reason? Quiggold, yeah. Yeah, he did a 600k basic to a Quiggold.
Who had like, what type of mods?
In 3 defense set, 4 health primary.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah. I guess no particular need to stack him up like an attacker then.
No, I think there's a particular need. I'm feeling some kind of way right now. I am so fucking sad that it's week 3 and I only 20 minutes after lock-in and I realize that this dude has been a sleeper agent under CG's detection on the great armor pen removal. Like this, he is just the new Night Sister Spirit in some ways. Not as, you know, but he has it in him. He won't always be throwing that heat, but he can, and at times will. And it is now my duty to min-max him for that. This is not the first time that I built Vandor for crit damage either, I will point out.
Okay.
A different reason back then.
Crit damage. All right. Looking forward to seeing how that develops. Any comments from the rest of us here on Wookiees? I really didn't see
I'm
any
just
all week.
super excited to hear this, by the way. Like
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to use them in a GAC match, but I know I've mentioned before, like just in Squad Arena, I mean, I've had them, you know, they auto Leia squads. The challenge I've had with Pirate King Hondos, I've been a little inconsistent in Squad Arena just because a matter of timing on killing Hondo before he does a full revive and whether there's going to be a timeout. But that was the only limitation I was running into. I hadn't paid close attention to that Brutus element of ensuring to reserve my cleanse until vulnerable was out. But just back to the point of like, I you know, long been a fan of the Wookiees, and Vandor Chewbacca has always been one of my absolute favorite characters. I R9 him early. Another element, I know Fatal's very aware of this, but those of you that don't use the Wookiees a ton, is there is a sort of half demoralize baked into his kit where any of his allies, whenever he has a buff, damage is reduced by 25%, opponent damage is reduced by 25%. So not only is this like a mini variant of Night Sister Spirit, it's also got a little Moff Gideon love, like half of that in there. And then I guess the only question back to you, Fatal, would be, were you using the FDC on this? I know the FDC generates true damage, so like that would be separate than the scaling damage you were seeing. But I was curious, were you using the FDC there or something different?
Yeah, no, I was not. I failed when I tried the FDC, and the moment that I swapped back to... This Kron is just like the herald of troublemaking. I have a Kron that's just like a tank Kron with 200% crit damage. And I slapped it on, and I mean, yeah, that 200% crit damage just like pretty much immediately can be felt. Is like, yeah, Wookiees are most seasons, I think, just going to be looking to slap that on to. I mean, this is, I already kind of vaguely said it, but this feels very much like a sequel to the Manhattan Project. This is Master Qui-Gon plus Cam all over again. Of, yeah, you just have the double sources of offense gain from the defense to offense conversion, as well as the Yoda and Chewie stacking offense. And then crit damage applies to both pools. Then you get the crazy defense stacking mechanics that make it go nuts. And I mean, at this point, the team genuinely has 3 sluggers that I'm aware of, and I'm starting to get suspicious that maybe I need to be wondering what 4 and 5 have in them as well, because Yoda and Chewie definitely has been throwing out some AoE hits that were not quite as big as Zalbar. Obviously, Zalbar stacking defense per hit, that's no one can compete with that. If you stack him up perfectly to get that AoE off perfectly, that is the Spirit Bomb. You are not gonna catch up to that or compete with that. But Yoda and Chewie was putting out very respectable, so that, like, let's say Zalbar doesn't get the perfect Spirit Bomb and one-shot everything. He could easily do half, and Yoda and Chewie could do the other half pretty easily if built correctly. So that's where the R10 on him came in, because A, the defense gains were good, but more importantly, B, his crit chance is 20.
Now,
in the Master Qui-Gon category.
If built correctly is the term, do you have a cheat sheet together for this yet? I know it sounds like it's a work in progress, but it sounds like the vision is clearing for you.
It's still extremely early days. I'm still not sure because of, again, like, I don't like. There is a unironic world where it's like, yeah, I'm on defense primaries with offense and crit chance secondaries, and it's like I don't know if that's a real statement. I just need to make a calculator to be like, actually, we could just kind of say screw offense, so you just go defense, crit chance secondaries with a health primary or whatever, and leave it be. Yeah, I don't know what it is in the early days, so I'm just kind of treating him like Qui-Gon. It's just, I know crit chance is important because the boy needs to crit. I know defense is good, I know offense is good, so kind of act accordingly.
Very fair. Appreciate that. All right, guys.
Question for you then, Fatal. I mean, before we move off of Wookiees, and I'm never going to move easily off of one of my favorite topics, what does that make you think for threes? Are you... is the assumption then that it's either no Zalbar or no Vandor? Because you got to have Tarful and Choda, I would assume, right?
I mean, you never cut Zalbar. Zalbar is the Spirit Bomb guy. No, Vandor, I think, is just the fun extra thing you get to do in 5v5. But no, I mean, I do think it helps recontextualize him in W3 as well. As like, I can kind of look at this as like, we understood that, like, Tarful, Zalbar, Hoda, and Chewie is like, that will be the 3v3 team, but I can now look at it more so it's just like similar to like a Balin, Shin, Merrick thing of just like, yeah, it's just those are the boys. And it's not to say that Balin doesn't have like a strong fourth in Hondo, like as a Vandor equivalent, but as I'm starting to spend more time with them, I still have no idea anytime that I go into a fight whether I'm going to win or lose, but it does feel like as I'm starting to put those reps in and do some limit testing, I am starting to get a bit of ability to predict, like I'm building out a vibe. So I have no idea if I'm going to win or lose this, but the vibes seem correct. Is like that team isn't doing much aside from trying to hit me. And we tend to do okay into that, so I think it'll work out. It's kind of where Wookiees are at for me currently.
No, it makes sense.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Next item. Queen Amidala versus Rey Ezra Luminara. And I fought a Rey Luminara this week, and it finally pushed me to move off of my crit avoidance arrow, at least for Padawan Obi-Wan. I also think I did it for Queen at last as well. So I'm okay with that, because what ended up happening was I fought a team. No, it wasn't Lumi. It was with Xeris. It was an attacker Kron. So very different setup, I guess. But the debuffs were getting charged up by Krex. And yeah, Rey's second ultimate one-shot my Padawan Obi-Wan from full. So definitely proceeded to bulk him up. Went from 60-something thousand to about 90,000 on the nose. See how much a difference that makes. Fatal, though, I know this note's mostly from you for fighting Rey Ezra Luminara with Queen. What's going on?
Yeah, this was kind of came from nowhere for me, and I wasn't sure if this was anything unique, but I looked at Inside and it was like 20% or lower win rate. So this is Luminara Healer Kron with Ezra under Rey. And all I really did is I just aimed at Ezra the entire time until he was dead, with the idea being, okay, you're saying that I can't assist against you? In the Datacron that tries to punish me for assisting? Cool, but alright. Let's chill. Let's talk. And so I just bullied the crap out of Ezra, Hermit Yoda. I have him built out similarly to Master Qui-Gon to be a heavy nuker. And once Ezra went down, I went for Luminar next, and while I was taking her out, I did get the protection disruption, but because they had so little pressure on me up until that point, it really wasn't any risk. The Qui-Gon dice had already gotten off once or twice at that point, and yeah, it was extremely clean fight for. Yeah, I mean, I did it twice. It felt great both times. I would do this week consistently.
And this was a healer, light side, bulk level 3, high health, like 117% health on that Ray team. This is a pretty common orientation that I've been seeing with this high health. So good to know that this is strong. And I know you're just a second ahead of yourself. You said Hermit Yoda. I think you meant Grandmaster here. But yeah.
Yes. Cam, Grandmaster Yoda, for those who don't know the original Manhattan Project, Cam, unique with the Jedi supports, gives you that health to offense conversion, which is just unbelievable. My Qui-Gon is doing basic attacks for 600,000, whereas Pow is only doing 200,000. And Grandmaster Yoda is not that far off either. Their stat profile is almost the exact same. And yeah, I mean,
you still keep him in the crit damage set to this day?
Oh yeah,
Grandmaster.
But Master Qui-Gon and Grandmaster Yoda are both built for destruction as needed.
Very nice. All right, that's a good one. Any other comments about fighting Rays this week? Anything noteworthy? Okay, next item. Leia with Stormtrooper Han and Stormtrooper Luke. I see you put a note in here, Fatal. You said it was bad on defense, but completely locked an Ezra out, or I pending. Also, Leia is just kind of bad now, so it may not be their fault, but still, Rex Old Ben is likely better. Please expand.
That was more notes for myself than but no. So I was trying to post Leia for the majority of the season. There are just so many teams flying around now that people are not getting it. It doesn't matter if you don't know what the Leia counter is, man. You have like 4 overkill options left available to you at that point. That whether it's SLK versus Leia, whether it's Seabane versus Leia, people are just doing it. And even then, like, I'm pretty sure when I thought about it, that like, I don't think Stormtrooper Luke plus Stormtrooper Han really make that much sense on defense. Like, I was kind of swept up by like hoping, that mass assist.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I pulled her in 1 rounds, and naturally ended up on Ahsoka, as you do. And then it was a pork run, so obviously, like, Stormtrooper Han doesn't really get to hold taunt for remotely a second or do anything, and like the stealth from Stormtrooper Luke didn't last for a second, so I was like, I don't know if this makes sense, but I sent it anyway. Their Ezra did not get to play the video game at all. Fuck what you heard about Jin having to tank everything. There was no tanking. Their Ezra just got washed. And I don't think he ever reached the 50 stack. I don't think he ever passed go. I have a super fast Stormtrooper Luke, and I just passed the Han immediately and gave him that the 100% RNG chance, so he hit all that TM removal. And it was just Leia versus Ahsoka is just a necessity to me. I do not consider that fight to be particularly fun. I had a blast running this fight. The amount of leverage, the amount of control that I had, it was insane to me. So, yeah, I don't know if y'all have been messing around with Stormtrooper Luke, Stormtrooper Han at all, but be curious to hear what y'all have been doing. But that was crazy to me. Now, it was pointed out to me that if, like, Ahsoka puts Mirai on Ezra at the start, then you can't remove Exterminator, but
yeah.
good players don't have that happen.
Yes, exactly. So kind of a fun and novel counter, but maybe not necessarily reliable.
I have no idea what happens if that happens, but I guess I'll find out maybe if I keep holding Leia. We'll see.
Fair. Okay. Appreciate that one. More. Well, first, any other comments using Leia, guys? Yeah, Fatal asked, so I assume since nobody piped up, nobody had anything. All right. Next item, Afra, the follow-up. So I know that we've talked about Vexatron's use of Afra with the IG-88 Set 26.
I did have one interesting team that I followed Leia that I lost. It was Rex lead, Krex, Ray, Cat, and Ezra with the Rex FTC.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to lay it, and they just took too many turns. I just couldn't get through. I also had Leia lose to Ahsoka in round 1 because the what's the droid's name again?
Hu Yang?
That mass assist just was the end of Drogon.
Hyped you.
Yeah, just the support cron, the not being able to protect Drogon. I do think Stormtrooper Luke is really, really good on Leia. Jin Rad is probably. I mean, people are going to do it because of comfort, but as far as being objectively better, I think Stormtrooper Luke +1 is, as long as we have support cron, is just better, and is probably better even without support crons.
Plus, Han feels so good that it's you can go either way. It's either, I feel like Leia can reasonably talk about undersizing now, or Leia can reasonably talk about cutting Drogon now. Take your pick either way. Just you run a Leia control team, I feel like that's probably gonna feel sick. You run Leia, Drogon, Luke, Han, that also probably feels sick.
Yeah, Stormtrooper Luke has felt absurd on Leia.
All right.
I've also liked Chupio as a 5th, just for a little bit more CC plus damage push.
Yeah, that's what I used.
Yeah, but that's mostly against support crons, just because people need to die.
Well, it's also turn order and the setup in the blind to mitigate any second move they're going to try to do. It just keeps your team in control. So it's your ability to do that, because that's what I was using as Chupio, because obviously Krex has merit there, but it was going back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, saving Chupio's rip for a second turn is really nice because it allows Drogon to punch somebody in the face really hard, because that's generally about the time his basic pops. And you can maneuver those turns with Luke as well. Plus, Luke brings another mass assist. I don't know. Luke just feels so powerful on the team. I after using Luke, I don't think I could go back to Jin Rad even after support cron.
Interesting. All right.
Sorry, I'm multitasking while I'm doing this, so my apologies.
No, you're good. But let's move into Fatal's next item here, the Afra follow-up. So what's the latest on Afra?
To be honest with you, this is more so me wanting to open up to the room to see what y'all did, because I can pretty thoroughly say confidently that I think Afra in 5v5 on defense for the next week, or basically this current season until Set 25 goes away, I think Afra is just unpostable. And I saw you had some mention of
yeah.
I got
that's what it is.
I got it to beat Riva, so
Mm-hmm. It has good punch up to do anything else, but putting all that into it for just to die to Gungans does not feel good. And Gungans have no other place to put it.
Being able to kill things like BKM, Bad Batch, Inquisitors, those are all real teams you have to fight. Probably not all of them every round, but I don't feel like there's a shortage of targets for her if you save her, if that makes sense. And part of it's that people tend to post. I mean, Fatal's going to do the people don't post great defense, and that's true. She's going to beat everything bad that your opponent set. So you're going to get to use her. I'm actually curious if she beats the Boba Jabba team. I haven't gotten a chance to try that yet.
Well, basically,
Um,
where I'm going with this is if people post bad teams, that's fine. But what I'm very curious on is how are her banners? If we are talking her on offense, what's the best she could do? Were the banners bad? Because, even when she won on defense, or
I
even
actually
when
saw she's getting good banners. No,
yeah,
where I've seen her get
64,
used,
64,
she's been okay, and you can underman with her. So you can literally go
Yeah.
4 strong with the team, depending on what you're going for. And then if not, because she's not only got the addition of IG90, the addition of the crons have literally gone month after month to really support Afro. You do the IG88 one, you're good to go there. We have other ones coming out, tying other pieces. She's been really good.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
64, 65 banners is the expectation I have of that team.
I do think that her stocks on defense may increase the moment that Pokron and Gungan Attacker goes away. I mean, we'll see, to be sure, but yeah, it's just so 25 has a very strong warping effect, and I mean, I would imagine that Afra with a defense cron or some sort of, I mean, as said, right? She has every set after set 25 so far has had a great option for her, and it's literally just choose your poison, choose your fighter of what flavor of defense mix-up do you want to try to throw at people.
I do want to mention this Afra usage for EP, DVD. I've seen Vextron do this a couple times. That, again, is using that set 26 Afra Cron, or sorry, IG88 Cron. So his level 9, stacking max 300% offense, Bounty Hunter level 6, and then the debuffs into cooldown reduction level 3, usually with crit damage and potency is what I've been seeing. I guess this one has some armor penetration. But I think Dagger or somebody was just asking about fighting Boba Jabba with that. Yeah,
Yeah, it works. I'm looking at the data right now.
It's stomping, man.
Yeah,
let me see if there's
I'm looking
underband.
at the data
Here's your
right
underband
now.
represented though. In all of Kyber 1 on offense. Here, let me see Division 2 as well.
I was just gonna rattle off some stuff that is beating for you, Fatal. Jabba, Boba Jabba, DVDE, Great Mothers, C, all for 64 plus.
And if you look on screen here, there's only a couple seen, but Fugitive Omega, Finzori with OG Poe, both easy 66s done in under 2 minutes.
Yeah, so have no fear. This team is going to be a pretty good. See, this is what I actually. So I understand that IG90 is the 4th for the Afro team, not the 5th, right? We'll eventually get a 5th, right?
The 5th is kind of for them, kind of.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean, though, Fatal. Eventually, this team's going to get a 5th that's designated for the team. It's going to have baked-in synergies. But I think this is what the team kind of wants for now. It's banners, it's utility.
That bug regarding how Forlom charges Afra has not yet been corrected, right?
Lom. L-O-M. Sorry.
Yeah, I say O like O, so Forlom, yeah. So is it still bugged or has it been corrected yet?
A bug?
The bug that the debuffs from
Forlom
Forlom were not charging Afra's siphon, feeding her siphon properly.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
I think it's still outstanding then as a bug.
That is not why he was there for my team. So no concern.
See, I would have thought all the debuffs were a reasonably significant part of his value proposition.
I just wanted to give the only thing we don't think we call out is they did it for Saw. They have literally been adding more things to goodness for Afra month after month. So I just want to give a shout out to CG for saying we've seen for Saw for too long. Let's give it to Afra for a little bit, because you've literally gone Bounty Hunter, FDC, and now we've gone into Scoundrel. So the world is great.
Yeah, we're just waiting on BKM to get a 4th and 5th now.
Nice. Okay. Wow. That was a really worthwhile cover there on Afra. Now, you did mention Saw versus DVDE earlier. We have it covered here just as a line item. Did you have anything else you wanted to mention while we're circling to it, Dale?
No, it was just that was on the list to send, and I just threw it in where you had it.
And again, he was saying that's Underman where you're dropping Kyle, running a support cron with Luthen, Kara, and Krex. So cool undersize opportunity. Yeah.
Saul has no assists. Kara, AoE stun, of course. Rex doing Rex. Yeah, you just have them under total control the whole time. I don't think anyone ever fell below like 75% protection.
That might be spice for me this week. Because I'll have some stuff to talk about for plans for this coming week. All right, Lord Vader RNG is your next note that you wanted to cover here, Fatal.
I don't have any major thoughts on the subject. I just figured we could commiserate about how god awful that coin flip is. I think it's literally 50% in the data. It's just
I will say,
how much do you want to get oppo shot?
Don't be like me and immediately do Lord Vader crush into DCT AoE and then suddenly just have like Lord Vader and Oppo versus the world kind of a thing.
Oh yeah, like that was a fun fight. Tass went in, I'm like, he got the DCT turn, I'm like, basic. He smashes AoE, loses whole team.
I am pretty sure you are just destined to lose your whole team regardless. I don't know if there's any way around that.
It may well be, but
I'm talking about when. But Fatal, what I'm saying is, by the time Lord Vader got his next turn, the whole team was gone.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't like you're going to lose your whole team. This was, oh shit, they're all gone.
Yeah, wasn't the finest work I've ever done. So fair. All right. Before we move on from meta analysis, any other emergent counters you guys wanted to discuss? Anything new from the front? I want to say, covering my own part, and I feel like we've kind of hit the highlights for your favorite attack and defense. So this, throw that in, guys. Anything else that you thought was noteworthy and didn't cover? I do want to highlight here in this round. This is one of those Phantom's Menace guys, and he is often saving. He's always saving Ahsoka with Exile Ezra to two-man any Jabba composition of your choice on defense. So I knew I couldn't set it because it was. I mean, he wasn't going to use Ahsoka on anything else. He's basically not setting enough that it's going to be a problem for him. So using Jabba against a well-equipped Maz team with OG Hondo on it, support cron, turn meter, all the fixins, whatever. Jabba, Chrysanthemum, Bausch, Embo, Cad Bane, support cron, 65.
Is there any room to underman with Jabba? Because I feel like Jabba's like not actually that good right now. And if I'm beating a team, I'm shit-staining something absolutely abysmal on defense.
I feel like you could cut Embo, to be honest. Embo felt like a security
Embo
blanket.
was not even on the team for me. I use Scando, but like you're saying, you could do a 4-man though. You think you could do a 4-man?
I think if you asked, if I had the discretion to, I think I might risk that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think a 3 or 4-man team beats? I guess I could look it up on .gg.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a ton of experience with Jabba on offense. That's why I wanted to make mention of this. And then another one, and I know you were here for this live, Dagger, was finding a neat use for Jedi Master Mace versus BKM. And so that was with Attacker Cron, Turn Meter. Wouldn't have mattered if it was Healer, right? They're not reviving anyway. Just under 3 minutes, 64 banners, and the only reason it wasn't 65 is I just didn't have the time. I didn't restore Jocasta's protection quickly enough before the fight ended.
All right, so the only teams it looks like it beats undermanned are Maz and Bad Batch 2. And you can 4-man them.
Okay.
Everything else, like that's the other problem with Jabba is I'm looking at this. He's just like not particularly great banners on offense.
Yeah. and I think that's kind of been an observation of ours across several metas.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I think at least you, me, and TJ err on the side of setting him. I mean, obviously sometimes you can't, but one
Cass,
man. Sorry.
you mentioned to Dagger's point about erring on the side of setting. You mentioned, like, for example, the Phantom Menace folks have used an Ahsoka Ezra two-man counter. I know that's something I'd seen in the history. Do you know anything about that? And I asked really just as a matter of, like, is there a countermeasure that is available?
So the
in
answer
Civ?
is, as far as I can tell by data, no. I looked across all use of datacrons. I put it just you know, Java, Crescent, and Bausch, and left the other two to see if there were any composition mixes with any datacron that could put a wrinkle in that. And as far as I could see, no. It's just, as far as this season is concerned, if you see that they're capable and planning and willing to do it, I would just save Jabba. I was willing to have Jabba go unused. He didn't have Maz on his history for the previous week, so I had no reason to expect it, and it was just as well that I found a use. But to be perfectly frank with you, I wasn't even looking for it. I just knew I couldn't afford to set it against it.
I hear you. I was wondering, like, high defense or some special cron, but nothing that you've seen. Okay. Thanks,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys wanted to highlight here while I'm scrolling? Nope. Nothing else. Everything else was pretty on point on script for me. The other 2 rounds were good slugs, but everything else, largely went to plan. All right, if there's nothing new from you guys here in meta-analysis, and we've already covered, really, our favorite attacks and defenses along the way, I'm going to reimagine that very near. Takeaways, final thoughts. We're here. What do we got to talk about here going into this week? Let me show you what I've got cooking, first of all. Based on our previous discussion, I did tune up Padawan Obi-Wan as previously mentioned. Kept him the same speed, relatively the same amount of potency, same offense, just a ton more health. Yeah, Queen got tuned. Just more life total now. Well up over 200,000. I'm thinking to go Relic 10. Not in the terribly near future, but within the next 5 or 6 Relic 10s, I'm seeing her somewhere in there getting done. Forlom, I just copied what you were doing, Fatal, so nothing terribly inventive, but the job will get done. The Stormtrooper Han just got in the prot. Princess Leia, just faster speed set, preparing for 3 versus 3. That just more speed and offense on Ethano, kind of crummy. Wampa just gave a little extra speed to, kept the offense about the same. All that's good. Which brings us to Datacrons. Yes, you guys can laugh at me over the lifetime of this cron if it ends up proving to be a fool's errand. But, it's my privilege because I have you guys watching me and my patrons supporting me that I decided to spring for the paid version of the Balin Cron. And just the Balin Cron. Because it has the slightly different stats, which I think offers more offense. And if you remember back to the original Balin Bespoke Cron, much horror was created by having a big chunk of offense on there. So we'll see. Maybe there's something to it. I just rolled up the Wampacron straight up. So, yeah, that was a good bit of stuff that went into that. And then I did take the Vaincron, seeing that Fatal had done this, so I just straight up copied your 369 Fatal, the 25% turn meter, 10% max health, damage level 6, Scoundrel, and then Vane level 9. I saw that you had health and defense. I did a few rerolls, got a little something, but yeah, it is what it is going into this week, and we'll see if there's any meat on them bones with this.
I think the 6 is going to be flexible and will be kind of a moving target over the course of however all of this stuff evolves. that was just what I naturally rolled, and I was not trying to spend more than what I spent. It naturally rolled decently enough that I was like, "Thank you, sir. I'm good. I do not need to." Yeah,
fair enough. You know, so my takeaways and final thoughts were seeing, whether or not it's worth throwing this Balin on defense here with the Kron this week. We do get Dengar ported over with his passive from the Boba Kron. We got the doubt for everybody. Shin, who's your fifth? So yeah, OG Hondo is meant to be represented here. Looks pretty badass, guys.
my plan. The only reason why I got it is because my plan is for this to be the week of content and just trying shit.
So you're gonna use it on offense versus Ray again or some shit?
No, I am hunting the stranger.
I was gonna say that's the stranger, dude. Like I can't. That's 100% killing the stranger. The application of what that Kron is gonna be able to do, the doubt. There's a whole bunch of merit in there.
So I don't think it's 100%, but when I look at that Kron, if I'm trying to like do like a forensic analysis after the fact, there's enough parts there that I think I have a game plan that may get the job done. So I think the win condition, I will note, so doubt, yes, we have doubt, but doubt doesn't block the bonus turns. It just blocks stranger gaining 100% turn meter the first time somebody hits him. But they will still be fair game for I gain a bonus turn when I get hit twice. So here's more or less what my approach is. I think, because Hondo has the taunt ignore, I believe. I am going to pretty likely place Starkiller in handcuffs. And our win condition is Maul, when he gets to 60 stacks and he does his AoE, does the fear. And I think that fear is our out.
Now there's going to be somebody that's watching this right now thinking, Fatal, no, we're not under Pirate King. There's no lightning raid on OG Hondo. He can't ignore taunt. But if you haven't committed to memory here, this level 15 Balin ability says if Balin is a leader and all allies are mercenaries, whenever a mercenary ally gains Soldier of Fortune, they gain 2% offense and defense penetration, stacking max 150%. Mercenary allies ignore taunt if they have Soldier of Fortune. And you're going to be starting with any amount of it. So, yeah. Whenever another mercenary ally uses an ability during their turn, call Balin to assist. Whenever Balin uses an ability while having taunt, spell all buffs on the target enemy. Fun fact, would calling him to assist in his basic hitting somebody be a use of an ability in terms of just free dispel call on, like with assist on basic, a la Snips? Is that what we're looking at there?
I assume so.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, that's an interesting thought. Appreciate you sharing that. That's something to think about here for this.
I'm not recommending anybody try it. I very likely paid to lose, but yeah, I am trying to keep the game as fun as possible going into this last week of Set 25. Last week was a blast for me, and we're going to be doing a lot more wild shit. So hopefully this pays off.
Fantastic. All right. So yeah, I mean that you were able to springboard off of me there, but that kind of wraps up my takeaways. I mean, obviously, gonna look into trying to pull the weakest one or two teams off of defense, because that's you got to keep ratcheting it up in this very refined meta. We're at the very height of Set 25. You've got your best Set 26, some Set 27s thrown in here. Everybody knows what's up, and very few people have Set 28. So we'll see. Dagger, how about you? What do you got? Takeaways and final thoughts. Our Dagger's probably spending time, with family, being a responsible partner and father. Something of the kind. We'll circle back around to him, I guess. DJ, how about you? Your takeaways and final thoughts.
I know we didn't talk about it, and I think Fatal brought it up, but the Vayne Kron is my final thought.
Do tell.
I tried it out. Oh man, that thing is so much fun. I think it broke my game because it locked it up to I lost buttons to do anything. So I know we was talking about automation, but it actually gave me pause to actually go in and manually correct my vein, and then I took him to R10. Not only for the defense, but also I think with the right application, it probably can wreck the stranger for what I would expect to be a good setup of banners.
You would risk that considering permakill.
I don't care. let's all be honest.
Yeah, well,
right?
you're straight up saying that you don't need to worry about permakill if you never come close to having your guys dying is basically your implication.
I think the lock makes sense from what Fatal said. Because if the star killer never moves, the team almost is like a sitting truck, I think, to the point because you get to bypass any taunt mechanic. I think there's room to wiggle that I'd be willing to try it. I think there's something there for it that it'll be a lot of fun to use.
To be clear, wait a minute. The taunt ignore for Hondo was based on using with Balin. So maybe I missed something. You're talking about, our conversation here
Pirates
has
get
you
to it.
thinking.
There's an initial move under Pirate King Hondo. You have the
Oh,
ability to
okay, never
possibly
mind. I thought we were
ignore.
talking fighting against this.
Nope,
Never mind. No,
I
I'm
am
with you.
not.
I'm with you now.
I'm not.
I'm with
I
you.
didn't spend the big bucks. I am super
I'm with
interested
you
in
now.
what Fatal's talking about, but I think this Vaincron is the new monster. I don't think it's going to change anything, but if it can be taken in and wreck a stranger team with what I would expect is all 3 rounds is the Healercron and some other variation, blah blah blah. I am all about it. I didn't stick to my guns on round 3, and it beat me up. But this Vaincron is so much fun. I am looking forward to what it might be able to do, offense or defense. Granted,
Okay. Appreciate you.
I think it is the new monster. I think that's just going on defense.
dude, it's so good. It's so, it like I hear. I never ever manually mod my characters. And I went back to my vein, immediately R10'd him and put, I mean, even Fatal will be proud. I put so much defense into him and then just helped them out. I had a blast. And then using it is, I don't know which one is the right 6. I would have to probably assume the right 6 is going to be the ability of the debuffs. But I have right now the cooldown reset when they do a basic. Man, you got to try it. You just go try it when you get it. You're gonna have a blast just watching Vayne not move. He's focused on a character. Character goes away. Vayne then decides to move. That is amazing. 5 stars. Highly recommend.
I feel like CG realized how badly the Ricardo defense crowns was going to screw over Pirate King Hondo and printed this as a result to be like, don't worry, man. Defense crowns aren't going to get
Guys,
you.
I'm gonna do this right now in Squad Arena. So you would do what? Like this? Would you drop SM33?
Just take your standard team.
You're dropping
no,
SM33?
I didn't even take Hondo.
Take OG Hondo
I know,
out because you may be setting him with
Yeah,
Balin. So
Sure.
take OG Hondo out.
We can do that. Yeah, he also
puts
is
You
a
can
good.
try double tanking, which is a little less DPS and it gives you a little more of an opportunity to just watch Vayne tear them limb from limb.
Sure.
It's just be careful of your buttons. You might do too much and it might not want to play the game
yeah,
anymore.
this is obviously going to be full auto. How would he do this? Would he, because you can't exactly catch him for the first turn. Let's just say, yeah. You know what? This is specifically not the best auto with Quiggle, right? Because this team doesn't naturally have a ton of AoE, but it just so happens that Quiggle and Brutus here are 2 AoEs. So anyway, let's see what auto does. That's full auto. Let it run. Anyways, while that is running in the background for our entertainment, Dagger, are you back with us? Is it time for your takeaways and final thoughts? It may.
Yeah, sorry. It's spring break here for some of the small ones, so there's no escape. I would say something dumb like 07's in the chat for set 25, but nah, fuck that set. May it rest in fucking piss.
Fuck that set.
2 more weeks till we're rid of this shit? I mean, technically 1 more week, but 2 more weeks till we play GAC without this shit? I don't know. That's my only real takeaways. Just happy to be done with this shit.
Fair. Yeah. All right. Sasha Aisha, how about you? You know, as a learner, practically a regular audience member for the season thus far. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think going here into week 3? I think you said before we started here, you actually do have the opportunity for one real match this week, right? Against Mad Mage.
Yeah, and so I think I will have one match. I mean, I have an enormous amount of rest on my game, but so you're right. It's mostly as an observer. It's fun to see these changes, and I'm really disappointed in the way your Veins performing right here.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I'm excited to see the roll crons go, and I think a lot of possibilities. I know, well, you know, Dagger doesn't like threes. I know there are reasons for many people not to, but it puts more stuff on the board. I feel like there's more opportunity for just shaking some things up, and the absence of roll crons plus the transition to that, I think it's following this week should be pretty cool. So I'm kind of excited for that. But meanwhile, man, Vane is just totally underperforming the hype.
I was gonna say, I think I speak for everyone when I say the Vaincron fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's
for sure.
Maybe it needs better stat rolls.
Nobody should get it. Nobody should get it. That's right.
Maybe
it's going to be the worst one out there.
This was never even close to close, and this isn't even with GAC homies.
That's right. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking,
still gonna try it.
You know, we don't have GAC homies active, so whatever. But then I was thinking, shit, they don't have like 9 homies. I don't know how many homies. Not
I'm
active.
okay.
Although
you
that
know
being
what?
said, the Vayne level 9 is kind of nuts, and we'll talk about that. I don't know whenever we do this in between, but yeah. The Vaincron's gonna be great. I'm just saying this was like the worst. That man, people are not going to go out of their way to go get that Cron.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can read it out here since I did make mention. I mean, it is part of the plan for this week 3. So yeah, whenever Vayne gains a stack of profit, gain 20% max health, stacking max 300% till the end of the battle. Man, the grammar is just missing here. Whenever a pirate ally uses a special ability, Vayne assists dealing 35% bonus true damage based on his max health. While Vayne is taunting, if another pirate ally receives damage, Vayne gains 10% offense based on his max health until the end of his turn. Which is why you saw later in that squad arena fight I just did, the Vayne just casually throwing a basic out at Visas, who is at like full health and protection, and then she left the scene. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, there's not nothing there. All right, appreciate your thoughts there, Sasha. Over to you, Fatal. Last but never least, your takeaways and final thoughts.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bizarre week for me because on the one hand, I was like, you know, I had a lot of fun this week, but 03, I never really like, especially with Set 25 about to end. I was sabotaged by rank. I did all the work to like, you know, I got my batcher modded and ready to like, I'll have Bad Batch 2 versus Stranger ready and available. But also, last week was insanely fun, and there's a lot of intel gathering that I could try to do this week to have an advantage going into next season. That there are 2 wolves inside of me, and one of them is button up and behave, and you have all the legwork done that you can now play Set 27 as God intended, and healer crown on everything, and you'll be fine. And the other part is like, or we just do all of the questionably winnable, but also possibly the correct way to play next season. Balin versus Stranger, or like Wookiee limit testing, Bounty Hunter, Asajj, like all that crap. I do not know which way this week leads. I kind of think I know which way this week leads, especially after the Wookiee revelation. I don't know, man. Look, my experience this last week is I would kind of show up to play to win, and fall behind on banners and then say fuck it, and then cool things started happening, and maybe I should just lean into that this next week. Right? These new teams, man. I mean, look, at some point, you're not gonna know until you just throw yourself in, and I don't know that there's any way around that unless someone else does it before you, and you can just copy them. But I don't know that there's a whole lot of people banging the drum over Wookiees right now, so someone's got to do it, and it might as well be me. So yeah,
To quote our esteemed Emperor, we shall watch your career. Great interest.
Twitch.tv/PlaybookTV, YouTube.com/ThePlaybook. I also got the Nihilist Cron. I'm just sending it on all sorts of fucking limit tests. Like, look, if Vayne would be so polite as to solo carry my rounds that I may lose judiciously on offense and also not say 0-3 next week, that would be lovely. I would appreciate that assists. I guess we'll see. But yeah, it's look forward to it. I've got pretty much everything ready to go. If I'm really committing to the bit, then I will back out on fights and we can run everything. We'll see.
All right, we'll be looking forward to that. Well, thank you guys, as always, for joining me here for our conversations. It's always a pleasure. And of course, to all of you listening out there, you can catch me live this week at twitch.tv/Tassenix. I also simulcast from my YouTube channel, Tassenix Gaming, where if you've not been there before, check it out. Whole bunch of sort of related content that you might be interested in. Stuff like the How to Mod Guide series on building up your mod collection. Mod guides on characters and factions that you've requested about, my Grand Arena VODs with chapters added, and it is, of course, a rebroadcasting point for this very show, which is native to Spotify, but wherever you catch an episode of Plotting and Scheming, check the description. There is a link that you can use to plug into your preferred podcast program and follow us that way. Anything you enjoy over there on the YouTube, please hit like, hit subscribe to the channel to see more, follow me on Twitch, all great ways to support the channel for absolutely free. However, if you're interested in going above and beyond to support me, there are a few ways to do so. First of all, I do have a Cash App that is $Tassenix. I have a PayPal, which is tassenix@gmail.com. And if you are interested in getting some enhanced Grand Arena scouting tools for yourself, early access to my content, and a few other benefits, you may be interested in becoming a patron. Check out patreon.com/Tassenix. For any upwardly mobile Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you. At $5 a month, you enter the Tass House at VIP access level, where you get early access to the Plotting and Scheming show, which is coming out to our general audience Friday mornings, 8 a.m. Eastern, but patrons have it as early as Monday or Tuesday night, depending on when we sit down to record, giving you that early insight going into the first round of the week. In addition, I will occasionally make patron-exclusive videos that you'll have at least a month ahead of the general public, and of course, a dedicated text and voice chat on Discord where I am usually lurking, so pop on in and say hi. Thank you to all of my patrons here at VIP Access. Moving on up to the $10 a month tier is VIP Access Plus, where you get a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. OmegaBot's that tool that I use at the start of all of my Grand Arena streams. It's the one with the graphs giving you an easily understood sense of your opponent's offensive and defensive tendencies. Anybody can use that tool for free to scout their opponent's last week of Grand Arena history, but only patrons can build out a custom report with any number of weeks. You get a downloadable HTML version of that report with embedded links that'll take you right back into Swigga.gg or Insight, with data pre-sorted, just helping you further minimize and focus your scout. Alternatively, you might go for the Hot Utils Patreon, aka Chili subscription, which is your #1 tool for mass mod management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you switch so easily between your Grand Arena, TB, TW, and Raid mods. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do to comprehensively remod your roster with the powerful automation feature. You can slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, help out your guild in TW, and so much more. There's no wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus. Thank you so much to all of my patrons here. VIP Access Premium is $15 a month for the Double Bot bundle. So Patreon access for me, OmegaBot, and Hot Utils all in one price. Just going out and getting both those bots anywhere else costs the same as this triple bundle, which is why so many of my patrons say it's one of the best values in the game. Thank you so much to all of my patrons here at VIP Access Premium. I know you guys enjoy those double bots. At the top of the list, in Jester's Club Elite, the one, the only Nomad's Reaper, a madman who pops in rarely, but when he does, he goes crazy. We're talking about hundreds of subs, thousands of biddies, fireman carrying hype trains. He's done it all, and he'll likely do it again. You never know. So thank you so much for everything that you've done, Nomad's Reaper. The support is just incredible. Likewise, to Pills, who follows in the noble footsteps of Nomads, showing up usually towards the end of my streams and just starting dropping subs and biddies. 10 here, 100 subs there. You never know what quite to expect, but it is always generous. It is always appreciated. Thank you, Pills. Special thanks goes out first to the Lost Womp Rat, one of my patrons who's gone above and beyond, not only for me, but for my community at large, helping all of us out with our, IT issues, whether you're a streamer and it's a OBS issue, or you're, just a general computer user. This guy's got the skills and he's happy to spend the time with us to smooth out the wrinkles in our IT-related life. So thank you, Womp Rat, for all you do. To Mrs. T, my wife, thank you for all you do in the background, whether that's bringing me something to eat or drink while I'm live here on stream, or just, keeping our daughter from tearing the house apart while I'm trying to be the very best like no one ever was at a phone game. I appreciate you. Of course, again, to my co-hosts here, I'm plotting and scheming, Dagger, TJ, Sasha, Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, as always, it is a pleasure and a privilege to record our show together every week. Despite the pressures of work and family, you guys still make yourselves available, and it's just such a pleasure. I learn from every episode. Hopefully, you guys occasionally feel the same, but it isn't about us. It is about the folks listening and tuning in to enjoy the show, because it is rare that a day goes by that I don't get some note on Discord, a comment on YouTube, thanking us for the discussions that we're having on the show. They're picking up tidbits from what we're doing here, and they're applying it in their rounds, and it's helping them win the day. So we're having the effect that we wanted to have with our show, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of it, and I wouldn't change a thing. And that brings us back on over to the main scene. So, yeah, it's finally. Man, how long have we been saying this? We've been counting the weeks, counting the days. This is it. The final hurrah in Grand Arena for set 25. It can't be gone soon enough. Nevertheless, get in, and smoke them if you got them, because this is the time, and they're still powerful for just these last 3 rounds. Looking forward to seeing you all on my streams this coming week, and until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.